Hey everyone, my name is Charlie Walker and we're going to go through a tutorial today that's going to show you how you can get information from a user and put it into a Google Sheet with using Zapier to integrate those two pieces. It's going to be really fun stuff. We're going to go through an example where pretend like you're a real estate, or not a real estate, but a mortgage loan consultant, and you're trying to get leads for people that are interested in doing home refinances. So we're going to ask them a bunch of different information about their home value and their home loan, and ultimately push it to you to you have their information. You're going to get their email, and we're going to try to set it up so they can either call you or set up a time to call you. So let's jump right in. So we're using ManyChat and we're in the flow builder. I'm not going to start it from scratch because I really want to show you guys more about how to integrate these tools than I do how to build a flow from scratch, because I've got some other videos that'll go through that. But let's jump right in and start. All right, so I have, just to kind of go from ground zero, right? I've done a new flow and I've named it the Mortgage Officer User Input Tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to edit the message. All right, so starting from the beginning, what's going to happen is they're going to get connected with your bot somehow. In this example, I'm using a messenger ref URL, which is basically just a link that they can get, and it'll put them right in this sequence. So they're going to see, so you want to refinance your home. Let's start by gathering some information. Okay, and I've just this is looking a little crazy. It's kind of popping up on this side here. So to add these little text box, all I've done is go to the text, but I've got this thing kind of built out, so it's all the way down. It's all the way down here at the bottom. But for these items, all that I've done is add that add text button. Notice here it says free keyboard input. What I've done there is I've clicked on this user input button, and it's a pro tool with ManyChat, so you have to be a subscribing member, and it's only $10. Just you click on that, and that's what it's going to do. It's going to prompt you to put in your information, and then this is the free keyboard text where they're going to put in their information. So that's what's going on with this item right here. My question was, what is your loan balance on your home? And I say use numbers. And when I click on this, it's going to say what is the reply type. So they could put in text. You could do a multiple choice. I've selected number because I want them to give me a number that I can put in a spreadsheet for the loan balance. Okay, and then if they say something like I don't know, or put it in a form that's not something that I can put into a spreadsheet of numbers, I'm going to say this field is for the dollar value of what you owe on your home. Please use numbers, smiley face, just to make it, a little bit more personal. And what's important here is I've saved the response to a custom field. So I've selected loan balance, which it's a field that I've created. So if you wanted to, if you don't have any of these set up, you want to set up a field for loan balance. So I would type, we'll create a new one, we'll call it loan balance 2. And it's gonna make you type it out again. But to follow along, if you're creating it for the first time, loan balance 2, and the type is going to be text. Even though, well, sorry, this one's going to be number. Yep. Okay. So that's created. And then what's going to happen is you've added a field to that user. So if you're familiar with Infusionsoft or GetResponse, Aweber, basically it's just a field that can hold data for one of your subscribers. So if you go into the audience and then you go to custom fields, it's going to show up down here right there. This particular person hasn't gone through the bot, so there's no information for them. But if they had, it would show up there. So let's jump back in. Okay. So the first one was, what is the value of your loan? And the second one is, after they've responded successfully, it'll say, what is the estimated value of your home? So they type that in, and we've got the same thing. The reply type is a number. I say use a number, use digits only. And this one I've set up a custom field for home value. Okay? And after they put in a successful response there, let me get this out of there. After they put in a successful response, it'll go to the next question is, thanks for that information. And what we're trying to do is sequence them into getting more information. And the next thing is going to be where is your home located? Because ideally we'd like to get their address, because if I'm this mortgage loan refinance guy, I'm going to want to get their address so that I can see some sort of valuation of the home itself. I'm sure that's probably something they would do in the process. So I want to get their home address. And there's two ways that I can do that. I can prompt them to type out their address individually in 3 different steps. I can ask them to type it out in one text, just city, state, address. Or I can use something cool with ManyChat called the location finder. I think that's the name of it, but we'll get to that in a second. And I say, if you're home, meaning like they're on their phone and they're going to be pushing the button to, transmit their location from their phone into the ManyChat, I'm going to say, use the location finder. If not, then you can type it out manually. Okay, so then based on their response there, it's going to put them into a specific type of sequence. So if they clicked on this, then it's going to go to this option. If they clicked enter manually, it's going to prompt them to enter it manually. So I've created a new message here, and in this message, I say, okay, press the button to get your location. And so for this little location finder thing, I clicked on user input, and then for the reply type, I've selected location. And it's really cool. We'll get into a second where I'll be able to click the button and it'll show it. But yeah, and we've added a custom field here for location finder, because I want to be able to specify whether they use the location finder versus whether they typed it out. I feel like that might be important later on. Just having one field for each might be better than just having one field for both types of responses. Okay, so now we're capturing this data about this person and adding these different fields. We're going to get their home's address, their home's loan value, what the home is worth, at least what they think it's worth. And then if you're a real estate mortgage loan consultant, you can probably get maybe some better information about their home's value. Okay, so they've gone through this sequence now, and you've got those 2 items, and we're going to try to get some more information. The next thing we're going to try to get is their credit score information, basically what they think it is, which is just, and all we're trying to do here is qualify the lead and get a little bit more information, which could hopefully help either determine whether it's worth talking to them at all, or just kind of qualifying that lead. So the next thing that I've done is in each of these messages, I've said, okay, press the button or type it out. And after they've typed it out, I clicked on continue to another step, because what I want these two steps here, I want them to converge back into my sequence. So what I've done is I've done continue to another step, and then that way I can just to show you, so I can, let me remove this. Man. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I just want to delete that so I could show you what I did. And let me kind of go back. Alright, so you created this. Man. Alright, so you created the user input, and then you want to do continue to next step. And that'll give you the option to drag it over to the next message in the sequence. Okay, and it kind of got a little crazy. So what I love this little tool they've got is auto arrange the steps, and it just kind of puts them in a little more easy to see visual viewer. Okay, so I'm going to go into this message. I've added some text. I added a delay, and also, just in case you don't know, ManyChat has a really neat function where you can grab the Facebook Messenger's first name or last name or some different information. I've grabbed their first name, but you can see you can grab a bunch of different stuff. You could also, we grabbed they typed in their home value, right? We could say, okay, your home value is this, and put it in there. I'm not going to do that in this example. Great, thanks, Charlie, and a smiley face. Okay, and then we add this little delay here, which just makes it a little more personal, and makes them kind of think they're actually talking with a real person, or not necessarily as much of an automated bot. Okay, so now we say, how is your credit score looking? And your best guess is fine, because obviously if you're this person that's in this job, you're going to be doing some more research on getting their actual credit score, right? But they're going to choose 0 to 650, 651 to 720, 721 to 800. Okay? And then what we're going to do, depending on what they have selected, we're going to set a field to a particular value, which is similar to what we've done here, where we have set the field of home value to whatever they typed in. This is going to be a little bit different because we're going to type in the value we want based on if they chose that response. So if they said 0 to 650, we're going to, and all you do here is when this button is pressed, you would click Perform Actions, and then the action that you would select is Set Custom Field, Set Subscriber Custom Field. And the custom field is credit score. And if you haven't already created that, you would go through the step to create it, just like we did in the past. And then for the value, you're going to type in poor. It's not going to pull from their response here. You're going to type in poor or crap, so poor. All right, and if the person selected 651 to 720, we would set it to good. And if they selected 721 to 800, we would select great. Just to kind of so you have a little bit more information about them. And then we're going to say after this step next step after actions are performed, we're going to click Send Message, and we're going to send this message, and we're going to drag all these items to that message so that the sequence kind of converges back. So regardless of what they've done, we're going to say thanks for filling this out, and you're on your way to refinancing your home. We have a free evaluation we'd like to send you. What is the best email address to send the free evaluation to? And so this is really important because they've opted into your Messenger subscriber bot, right? So you've got them as a contact and you can do certain things. Facebook has certain rules about when you can and can't contact them. But if you have their email address, then you're going to have a much stronger lead because you're going to be able to email them through a sequence and also just have more text. You can send them maybe some homes in their area or different information. You get the point. Email is obviously very important, something you want. So for this item, after they clicked on, or after we said thanks for filling this out, we clicked on user input, type this out, and the reply type is email. We want to capture an email. And if they don't type in an actual email address that's like in a reasonable syntax, it's going to say, please enter a correct email address. If they just start typing a bunch of stuff or some numbers, it's not going to let them go through the next step. And we've created a custom field for this, which was email, just like we did in the past. Okay, let's see if I've got any. Okay, so this is important. Now that we've got their email address, regardless of what else they do in the sequence, I want to do something. I want to say they've entered their email address. We've got some great information about them, regardless of if they continue through the process. So what I want to do is I'm going to do this thing called Trigger Zap. Okay, and this is I think this is a pro tool, just like the free keyboard input, but it's going to trigger a zap. So what's going to happen is when they type their email address in, Zapier is going to say, oh, ManyChat has a new bunch of stuff for me. Okay, so it's going to pull in that information, and it's going to help us to get that information into the Google Sheet. I'll go through that in a second, but I want to do trigger new zap. And let me just close this so I can, so you guys can see what I've done here. Trigger zap is what I've done. Oh man, I've got to type it out. Okay, there we go. New email refi is what I've called it, and that's going to be important when we get into Zapier because I'm going to set that all up. I've also added the tag completed form, and to add a tag, you just go into Actions, Add Tag, blah blah blah, and it's going to add a tag to this person that says completed form because let's say later on I wanted to contact everybody through Messenger that has completed the form because that kind of makes them more from a cold lead to a warm lead. They're willing to give us all this information. We maybe want to send them a broadcast through ManyChat saying rates are an all-time low or something like that. But I want to add that tag to say that this person completed this form. They must have some level of interest. Okay, All right, so then we've triggered the Zap. They've given us our email address. We've added a tag to them. They've completed the form. After they do that, what's going to happen, and that they're going to see at least, is we're going to send them a message that says, thanks, check your inbox for the evaluation. And I would probably set something up on Zapier that Zapier and Google Sheets that it automatically emails them some sort of information based on what they put in. And that's a whole other lecture there. So thanks, check your inbox for the evaluation. A little delay, and it says, we have someone who could help you answer your questions about home refinances. Would you like to be connected to them now? So obviously the goal of this entire thing is to be able to connect somebody from whatever maybe it's an ad or something on your blog or whatever, to an actual person, so that you can really get leads on autopilot without having to do anything. You're getting people to either call you or schedule a call with you. So for this one, I've added some buttons, and for the button types, it says when this button is pressed. Let me just copy this. What I've done is I want to call number, and you can see all the different options they've got. They can send a message, open a website, call number, go to a different flow, A/B test. We're going to do call number, and I've got, I don't know, 867-5309 obviously as a little dummy, and then schedule a call is another tool. So I've got just an account with Calendly, so people can schedule times to meet with me, that I think would be a really good option for somebody in this scenario, where they can add in their Calendly link and just copy it and just put it in there, and then they can schedule a time to talk if they didn't want to talk right then. Okay, and that's the end of this sequence. You could add a lot more to it, or put them into a subscription. Sorry, let me get. Yeah, you can put them to sequence is the word that I was looking for. A sequence where you send them something once a day, over a week, that kind of thing. So I'm going to get back into here. So we're basically done with the flow now, okay? So now we need to go into Zapier, and this is published, okay? That's what I wanted to check. We can go into Zapier now and get this information from ManyChat. Then we're going to go from Zapier, now that Zapier has the information, and we're going to put it into a Google Sheet. So I've created a Google Sheet, and I've got all of the headers here with the information that I need. I've named it ManyChat Refi. Okay, so let's go into Zapier. And so I'm all the way at the end, so you kind of need to start at the beginning, right? So let's go back. You would click New Zap, okay? And I'm going to jump into mine and kind of just walk through the steps. The first thing you're going to do, because this is great because it just does each individual step we can kind of walk through. So first you select the app that you want the Zap to connect with. And the first one is going to be ManyChat. And we're going to select New Trigger a Zap Event, because that's what we've set it up. When somebody enters their email, we want Zapier to say, hey, I need to get information from ManyChat. And that's what we're going to select. You could also set it up so that when a new subscriber gets to your page, or when they update, you could also set it up so that if they update their email address, that is basically the same thing as triggering this Zap, because it's gonna pull the information at the same time. But we did New Trigger a Zap Event, and you have to connect your account. So to do that, you would just go connect, and I've already connected it, so I'm not going to click on that. And then you can test it and make sure that it works. Okay, it worked. Now it's going to look in your ManyChat account and find which times did you do Trigger a Zap and what are their names. I think the only one that I've got so far is this New Email Refi. Okay, so just remember we named that, and we named that here. Trigger Zap New Email Refi. So it's going to say, okay, anytime this is triggered, it's going to do that. It's going to do these things. Okay, the test was successful. If the test is not successful, a couple things could be wrong. Either it's not published, or you need to, sometimes the go-to is refresh permissions. That seems to be just like oh, your computer's broke, turn it off, turn it back on, just kind of solves a lot of things that you're not really sure why it would go wrong. Okay, so the Zap is on. The next thing that's going to prompt you guys to do, because I'm kind of at the end, is what is step 2. And so you would click this little button here to create a next step. And this step is going to be going from Zapier to your Google Sheet. Okay, so it's going to say, the first step is going to be, what do you want to connect to now? We're going to say Google Sheets. And you want to create a spreadsheet row. So we've created this spreadsheet, and basically every time somebody comes in here and pushes that button, I want their information to populate right here. Okay, you could update a spreadsheet row. You could probably do some other things. We're going to do create spreadsheet row. Continue. Now you're going to need to connect your account, whatever your Gmail account is. You're going to connect it there. And once you, using the OAuth, once that's done, we can test it. And the next one is, it's going to look to try to find what is the spreadsheet that you're looking for, right? So you're going to select the spreadsheet. I've saved this one as ManyChat Refi. And here's where the kind of technical fun part starts. So within this Google Sheet, I've got a bunch, worksheets are these things down here. I've only got one. So I'm going to select that. And now it's starting to pull in the information from ManyChat. And it's going to grab, I think, just whoever's on your subscriber list at the top as this kind of default information is going to show. But we've got these fields up here. We've got these columns up here. And it's saying, all right, you've got this column. What do you want me, what field do you want to go in the first name? And notice we didn't ask, hey, what's your first name, what's your last name? But Facebook already has this information, and it gives it to ManyChat once the subscriber opts in by doing anything, interacting by clicking a button or typing anything. So it already has a lot of information. The gender, first name, last name, some different things. Okay, so we want to do first name, and then use first name. Let's just kind of go through the steps with you guys. Last name, we're going to do last name. It's pretty self-explanatory. And we didn't create those fields, but this one we did. So remember we went to, let's get back. Over here, what's the best email to send the free evaluation? Come on. Okay, I gotta edit the message to see it. So save response to custom field email, and that's one that we created. Okay, so that is what we want to grab. Their email address is custom fields email. That's it. Gender, if you want it or not, Facebook gives it to you, so you could use gender. Now, loan balance is one of the ones that we created earlier as well. And we named it loan value, right? So it should be custom fields loan balance. Okay? Just want one of these guys. User custom fields loan balance. Home value estimate, you would select whatever the field was called, home value. And we've got two columns here. Home location typed, home location automatic. And one of them is going to be blank depending on which they selected. This one, home location automatic, we named that location finder. I don't know if you guys were with me when I did that, but in the interest of time, I might not have covered it. So this is where they click the button, and we saved that field to location finder. So whatever they clicked, it's going to basically get, what do you call it, coordinates, and it's going to save them to that field there. We'll see that in a little bit. So that's what we select there, location finder. Home location, if they typed it, we saved that, whether you saw it or not, as city, state, address. Okay? And then their credit score, you remember we went to, based on the button they clicked, we said set subscriber field, set credit score to poor, good, or great. Okay? So just to show you that. Custom fields, credit score. Okay, so that is it. We're going to click continue. All right, and then the test was successful. So basically, Zapier was able to connect to your Google Sheet, and it didn't have any connections with it didn't have any problems with that whole connection. Okay, so we're going to finish, and we're going to give it a shot and see if it works. So it's turning on the Zap. All right, so the Zapier is working. I want to make sure that everything on my end is working. Make sure this is published. All right, and then the way that I'm going to use this as a test is I'm going to create a Messenger ref URL using a growth tool. If you're not familiar with that, why don't we just do it? We can just do it real quick. So refinance test 2 is just kind of what I'm naming it. I'm going to do Messenger ref URL. And the growth tools is a whole nother thing. If you're interested in all the options for growth tools, check out another video, but it's because they're pretty comprehensive and there's a lot of options. So you've selected your growth tool, and now you need to connect your flow. Okay. Let's replace it. I don't know if that was the right one. No, it's this. This is the one that we just went through and built. So whatever the flow you're building and you're naming, that's the one you want to select. Okay, then we'll go to setup, and then it's basically going to give you a link that if you click it, it's going to subscribe you into this. So you could potentially just email this to your email list if they want to get subscribed into a sequence, or you could add it on your website, social media. You get the gist. So let's give it a shot and see if it works. So it should just open up in Messenger. So you want to refinance your home. Let's start by getting some information. Okay, it'll open up in Messenger. I've already given this a try a couple times. So you want to refinance your home. Let's start by getting some information. What is your loan balance on your home? Use numbers. So let's say you owe $150,000. What is the estimated value of your home? Let's say it's $250,000. Is that enough? There we go. Thanks for that information. Where is your home located? Blah, blah, blah. So this is where we're going to use the location finder, or they're going to type it in. I want to show you guys the location finder because it's pretty fancy. So, okay, press the button to get your location. This little button here is going to find wherever I am. That's close enough. I'm going to send the location, and they're going to get the coordinates of what I just put in there, and they can basically get my address from that information. So the next question is, how is your credit score looking? And your best guess is fine. I'm going to say it's good. Thanks for filling this out, and you're on your way to refinancing your home. We have a free evaluation we would like to send to you. What's the best email address to send the evaluation link to? And notice it already pulls in the email address that I've got from Facebook that I've put in. So it makes it easy for the user to not even have to. They don't have to type it out. It says, is this it? And if not, they could type out another email address. So there it goes. Now the next one is, and notice we put in that email address, so it's going to trigger Zapier to connect to ManyChat and then connect to the Google Sheets. So we look at this Google Sheet now, it should be updated for the information that I just put in. So let's see. Look at that. How awesome is that? That's pretty cool. I skipped it, so I skipped that question, so the information I put in was skipped. We've got everything here. We've got their email, full first name, last name, full name. Good information. Credit score is good. So it's working like we expected. The last part, we have someone who could help you answer your questions about home refinances. Would you like to be connected to them now? They can call, and it's going to open up some sort of pick an app to call them, or we can schedule a call. And if they're on their cell phone, it's just gonna, if they're on their cell phone, call now is just going to actually, it's just gonna work like that. But I'm actually curious now. I guess I have to pick an app to call them. Yeah, I guess they could do Skype or something like that. Maybe that's not a good option for someone that's on a laptop, but so maybe the other option is a little bit better. Schedule a call. But that's probably what they would do if they click through that on a laptop for call now. They'd probably be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm going to schedule a call instead. And remember, we had this Calendly link. You can use Acuity scheduling or one of those, any of this calendar tools that you have, or maybe your own company has their own calendar tool that you can give somebody a link. So we'll click on schedule a call, and it'll basically say, all right, tomorrow at 8:30 is good. So that is that. So that's basically it, guys. Let me know if you have any questions on this content. It's obviously super fun. I'm going to put a link somewhere, maybe in the description, on how to actually get this bot that we just built out. If you want a copy of it, I can share it with you guys. So I'll see y'all next time. Thanks.